Welcome to episode number 13 of The Seeds of Success with RSR on the power of the reading habit. There are those that are voracious readers. This episode is not for them. This episode is for all those who rarely read or don't read at all. For all the benefits that a regular reading habit offers, it is surprising why many do not engage in regular reading. This is not to say that one should be a bookworm to the exclusion of other dimensions of life, though the more one reads, the better. Even a 30-minute daily reading will help. Regular reading is one habit that takes care of the intellectual dimension that Stephen Covey advises for a balanced life in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. For more on the 7 habits, listen to episode 10 of this podcast. This episode is not about reading Facebook and Twitter feeds. It is about reading books which will transport us to worlds that otherwise remain unknown. Reading stimulates our mind. Jiggy George, founder and CEO, Dream Theatre, feels when a person is reading a book, since he can't see it develop in front of his eyes in the form of video content, a lot is conjured in the mind. This helps in opening up the mind. This, by the way, according to different studies, considerably reduces the possibility of developing Alzheimer's or dementia. A mind that lays down a book can never come back to its original size, says Robin Sharma. Reading helps us to de-stress. Reading takes us to a different world, cutting us off from the challenges of day-to-day life. Experts say that reading silently for 6 minutes will slow down heart rate and release tension. Somerset Maugham said, "To acquire the habit of reading is to construct for yourself a refuge from almost all the miseries of life." Reading helps us to focus better. Owing to a deep penetration of social media into our lives, our attention span is reduced to a few seconds. It is said that the attention span of an average person is no more than 8 seconds. Add the many daily chores leading to multitasking that we engage in, and much more, which is reducing our ability to focus on anything and eventually reduces our productivity. This is also impacting the mental health of many. There is a need to address this dwindling attention spans. This is best served with a reading habit. When reading a book, we forget our surroundings and all the attention is focused on the story, and in a way, training our mind to focus. Reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. Reading develops analytical skills. If someone is a regular reader of mystery novels, the urge to solve the mystery before finishing the book is quite common. This increases the ability to explore different ways to solve the mystery. For that matter, it is usual to reflect and analyze the contents of a book of any genre. So book reading in general improves one's analytical skills. There are of course all those other benefits like improving knowledge, vocabulary, better writing skills, and entertainment that book reading offers. Amrit Deshmukh, known famously as the booklet guy, has offered some ideas on how to develop a reading habit in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Readers. Amrit is a social entrepreneur with a mission to make India read. It goes to the credit of Amrit that he is doing a commendable job in promoting the reading habit and has lakhs of followers on social media and on his own booklet app. Habit 1. Don't take reading too seriously. Many of us have notions that reading is a serious pursuit. He asks us to give up notions like, I'm not a good reader. I hardly read 5 pages and doze off. After reading 15 pages, I lose interest. Or self-imposed rules like, never start a new book until I finish the book I'm reading. Only in-depth reading will give knowledge. So on and so forth. Habit 1 is about persevering with the reading habit and continuing to read whatever one can. He says 10 pages each of 10 books is as good as 100 pages of one book. This truth also falls in line with the wisdom of tiny habits which I alluded to in episode 7. Start small, maybe 10 or 20 pages a day if you find reading difficult at one go. Habit 2. Fill in the time pockets. All of us have idle time pockets. Waiting for a bus or train, at the salon or doctor, or waiting to meet someone. The second habit is to fill up all this with reading. We see these idle time pockets in minutes and neglect their value as they appear small. When added, they can be more than an hour in a day. That is a good amount of time to read. Once it becomes a habit, repeated on a daily basis, these very idle moments can be life-changing. Habit 3. Read random. Randomness gives birth to innovation. Books are full of new ideas, perspectives, strategies, and opinions. We rarely know our own flaws or deficiencies. The best way to know is to read random. Do not stick to one genre or category. Amrit says, you never know which line in which book can bring instant transformation through some brilliant insight, and you emerge as a changed person that you were just a few minutes ago. He goes on to say, non-readers don't know what they don't know. By reading randomly, we come to know that there is a lot that we don't know. Random reading includes e-reading, which is also as good as reading a physical book. Only beware of push notifications and hyperlinks in e-reading. If nuclear weapon is the most dangerous weapon of mass destruction, the push notification is the worst weapon of mass distraction, Amrit says. So beware of notifications and hyperlinks if you are engaging in e-reading. They can be quite a distraction. Habit 4. Get the big picture. There is this misconception that to get the best out of a book, we must read every word, or the slower we read, better we understand. Unfortunately, in book reading, slow and steady does not always win the race. Those suffering from the perfection syndrome, like reading word by word, forget that there is a difference between perfection and excellence. Unlike perfection, which aspires 100% in all that we do, excellence involves a regular progression of work, even if it is at 70% accuracy. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. In developing a reading habit, get the big picture instead of the minute details. Speed reading is the solution. Speed reading is a technique that can increase reading speed from as low as 200 words to 1200 words. Habit 5. Read and discuss. We can't remember everything that we read. Even if we underline or highlight, the important sentences in the book, we may seldom revisit them. What is the solution? We remember what we repeat, like we never forget our name. The best way to remember is by discussing the ideas in the book with our friends. This helps both the reader and the listener. The listener will be motivated to read and explore the ideas, and the reader internalizes the wisdom. Remember this famous saying, cheap minds discuss about people, that is, they gossip. Average minds discuss events, that is, live in the past, while great minds discuss ideas. Discussing the ideas in a book is a great way to engage fruitfully. Habit 6. Read and pass it on. All of us are possessive about our books. We know many a book is lost, as a book that is lent hardly comes back. Amrut says the author of a book is generous to open his tap of knowledge and share it with us, the readers, through a pipe that's called the book. We, the readers, are like a water tank. Let us be generous like the author by expanding the water tank. That is possible by sharing the books may be read with a rider that the next person to read should come back with 3 big ideas that he or she has discovered in the book. Habit 5 and 6 are related in that both involve sharing the wisdom in a book. Habit 7 is yet to be revealed by Amrit. We will wait for the idea to strike us or for Amrit to relieve it. Until then, I hope this podcast inspired you to read, and if you are already a reader, to read more. After all, if we had time for WhatsApp, Facebook or Instagram, we have time for a book also. Remember what Confucius said, no matter how busy you may think you are, you must find time for reading or surrender yourself to the self-chosen ignorance. I hope you found this episode useful. Please subscribe to Seeds of Success with RSR and keep offering your inputs and comments. And don't forget to share it with your friends. And if you think a one-to-one conversation with me will help in working towards any of your life, business or career goals, or in resolving your dilemmas and challenges, please do get in touch with me for a coaching, mentoring session. You can reach out to me on rsrmurthy4@gmail.com. I repeat, rsrmurthy numeric 4@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.